Yaser, in your opinion, what unites all people in the world, regardless of nationality, religion, age, profession? What do we all have in common?
Well, what unites people and what we all have in common is kind of different. Like, I think what unites us is having a common goal, and what's kind of a common thing between all humans is humanity, is that we share humanity. And when the goal is to be more humane, then you kind of have an ultimate world.
Now it is the 21st century, but there are still wars on Earth. You, as a citizen of the world, where would you like to live? In a world full of peace and love, or in a world of conflicts and wars?
Well, nobody likes a society with war, of course. I mean, war only brings more war and hatred, and the cause of war is basically greed and seek of power and to dominate. And those seeking power, they only want it for themselves, and they use every means necessary to do that, whether it's the use of political power, money, or even religion. In the name of the religion, they cause wars as well. But if you go in depth into those countries that went into war, nothing good happened to them. Only those in power became more powerful and gained more money. As far as where I would like to live, of course, a war-free world and a peaceful world where our children could grow up, grow old, and learn to love rather than hate and seek revenge, which is kind of what's happening in the world today in the countries where there is a war zone, where people, children especially, becomes victim of this violence, of this hatred, and in the end they develop this hatred towards the world because they think nobody is protecting them. So when they grow up, they go into this cycle of the fact that they want to cause more violence, and then it goes around and around until you put a stop and an end to it from the root.
Today, the topic of uneven distribution of wealth is very relevant. There is considerable stratification of society into rich and poor. In your opinion, should be there any limits of capitalization?
Of course. I mean, that's probably due to the, let's say, weaknesses in the legal systems all over the world, where 1% of the world population hold the majority of the wealth, and the rest of the 99% of the world are either poor, which are the majority, or below average. And those 1% kind of control the world, control the systems, control the policies. They control it in a way where they want to remain the 1% in top of the world. They wouldn't care about lives. They wouldn't care about countries, people, feelings. They only care about power and wealth. And in order to do that, you need communities to rise up, whether it being in education or whether it being in morals. And you need the rich to help the poor, whether it being charity or whether it being trying to help them find work or an education to rise themselves and not really rely on others.
The 11th of May this year, on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement, a unique global conference took place. people from all over the world gathered together in live communication to discuss the issues of our society and the ways of their solutions. What do you think about it? Do you support such an initiative of ALLATRA participants?
Of course, of course. I mean, we all know the saying that two brains is better than one. And when a lot of people with common goals of making the world a better place try to come up with ideas, which is called brainstorming, you would find a lot of brilliant ideas that are just waiting to be done, really, waiting for someone to take the initiative. And we would not know that unless we talk. And talking is for free, really. It doesn't cost you anything, so why not talk? If you like the idea and you think it is doable and it would make the world a better place, then we do it. If you don't like the idea, then you're not really losing anything. So talking is the beginning, and expressing yourself is the beginning of how you want to solve this problem. Without talking, there will be no action. There will be no initiation, basically. So yes, I fully support the fact that talking should be on the open about society's problems.
Yaser, could you share your vision of situation? How does it happen so that everybody, whoever you ask, wants to live in peace and harmony, but yet we still have wars, conflicts, violence in society?
Well, we might go back again to those 1% of the world population seeking power and seeking money. And whether they are politicians or big companies or fight over oil, pharmaceuticals, weaponry, banks, and so on, those are part of the problem. Another part is us ourselves. When we say we want a peaceful world, let's go to our homes. Are our homes as peaceful as we want the world to be? If the answer is no, then you should revise your answer, really, and start with your home rather than the world. Because to a certain limit, your world or your small world is inside your home. If you make that peaceful, if you try to make that peaceful, then you did your part. The other part, which is making the world peaceful, relies on the community as a whole.
How can we stop being manipulated? How can we stop being consumers and live in creative format of society?
Well, that's the thing. Like, it takes time to change a society. It takes time to change behavior and the mentality and really the sentiment of people. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like, if someone is used on being a consumer, it will take them a lot to change that. You can see someone who is poor, yet still a consumer, and you can see someone who is rich and not a consumer. So it's the attitude that we do that would really change the way we act. And if we are consumers due to the influence of media, whether it being social media, for example, and you see the celebrities wearing this brand and this piece of clothes, or drinking that certain coffee, or putting on that perfume. I mean, it's a business, really. It's a business, and that business relies on the attitude of those consumers, of those poor people, buying and consuming all of the things that they're marketing. And that is part of the control, really, of how you can control a community through social media or other aspects, is to make them consumers, to make them need the products that you give them and not let them be on their own. So it is kind of a mutual fault, a personal fault, and also a community and, let's say, those 1%'s fault as well.
What would you like to wish the viewers of ALLATRA TV and all good people?
I would say that wishing for something will not let you achieve it, rather than discussing it and working on it. So I'm not really a wishful person, but I'm someone who would talk and discuss the problem and try to solve it and act upon it. So since I'm not a wishful person, then I would wish you all a happy day. And that's as far as my wishes go.